I'm Guy Trainin, and this is the Art Teams podcast. And we have with us Laura Huntimer, who is a museum educator at the Joslyn Museum in Omaha. Laura, hi. This is also the first time we are using Zoom, so this is an experiment for us, so bear with us.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for inviting me, Guy.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about you, and then we want to hear about the project that you're sharing with us today, which is the Get the Word Out project.
Sure. Hi, everyone. So I'm Laura Huntimer, Joslyn Art Museum's head school and teacher programs in Omaha, Nebraska. I have been in the museum field now almost 20 years, starting as a volunteer, then working my way into a part-time job, and then eventually this full-time position here at Joslyn. And so I get to work with teachers and students, and it has been a lot of fun. Right now, Joslyn is closed for construction. So if you can see my picture here, we have the original building with the grand steps going up to it. Then we have our 1994 addition just to the north of it, but you can see our Snøhetta addition, or the Hawks Pavilion, that is under construction right now, which is why we're doing this by Zoom rather than being on site at the museum.
It looks very exciting, very airy, but also the new art that's going to be displayed there.
Absolutely. I am excited too. I miss seeing our works in the galleries.
All right, so tell us a little bit about Get the Word Out.
Sure. So Get the Word Out is a serverless learning project that UNO students in the Department of Special Education and Communication Disorders, led by Dr. Mitzi Ritzman, has a partnership that's been going on with Blackburn Alternative Program students. And when we had this exhibition called 30 Americans, which was 60 artworks by contemporary Black Americans come to the museum, we realized that we wanted something that would connect students to the works. And who better to get the word out about a special exhibition like this than students? And so we had this amazing time working with the students to come to the museum, look at it, and at the exhibition, and share their thoughts on it. And I'd love to share some pictures with you.
All right.
One of the things was getting the students. This was something that happened over multiple visits, not just a one-off. Mm-hmm. So the first part was just having these initial looks, having these initial connections with the artworks. And so the students were generous enough to let us sort of lurk behind them with a microphone. And we got to capture their raw first interpretations of the works. And so, like, for example, this student here just connected with her nails. The students worked on some artwork that led to what this podcast would present. They picked some of their favorite works from the collection or from the exhibition and created this. We had students take over and become co-hosts. It was incredible to see at the beginning how sort of, they were exploring these galleries, not as strangers, but just as something so new. But by the end, and these pictures are from the end, where they were like, hey, welcome to my studio. They set up, they knew that this was their space, and they were the ones in charge. They were telling the story. But how did we get to this point? We started with episode 1, and here you see an artwork by Rodney McMillan. And this is a carpet that was pulled out of an apartment. And we worked with the local educator, an artist, multimedia artist, Kevin Lytle Jr., who created this story about this carpet. And then he presented it to the students. And that was sort of the thing that caught them. And they, in turn, took the artworks, they found one that they liked, and they created their own story for that artwork using this as sort of inspiration point. And so this podcast is a mix of the stories that were written down and that they then recorded, and some of that raw footage we captured. So
the other thing that I'm seeing here is that the voice comes with familiarity. And that is, we need to walk in steps. We're so used to the museum as a place where once a year we bring our students to it. And this calls for a different relationship, I think, with the museum, so kids feel comfortable. Because if you're coming somewhere once a year, it's a special place, and it may have an impact on you, but you do not feel comfortable in a place you visit only once a year, if even that.
Absolutely. It's about the sense of belonging, that you can say you're welcome many times, but until you actually feel that sense of belonging, you don't know it. And these students kept coming back. Their teachers really made sure that the students understood that this is their, well, we had to make sure that they understood this is their space, but the teachers made it possible for them to come back because those repeated visits just made them more comfortable.
And so you get the benefit of authentic voices talking about the art that you have, potentially talking to an audience that usually doesn't get the news from the museum, and maybe bringing them in to enjoy what is a really unique series of art pieces.
And really, it's about students talking with other students, because they're going to listen to them before they're going to listen to necessarily an adult to saying, hey, come see this. No, here's why. And I wanted to share this quote too, because there was layers of learning going on, of course. And she said, at my Blackburn visit today, I learned to let students take the lead. Students have various skill levels and needs, so it is important that we base our intervention on those specific needs. And so in addition to the Blackburn students, you've got the college students who are helping and being part of this project and developing their skills as well. The size and scale of these artworks was just incredible for students to see themselves and then write stories about them or just react. And I remember a fun reaction with students looking at this specific artwork and talking about the different people they saw in the artwork. This picture here shows, this is one of those raw ones. The students, Pedro and I believe that was Devon, sitting on the floor, and they and stared at this artwork, and they were just talking about, where is this kid going? What's he doing? He's out in the middle of nowhere. It's night. And I remember Pedro's was, my mama would have been blowing up my phone up. And these were just those rare opportunities we got to just listen, and they were so generous with their time, the students were, in letting us overhear what they had to say. And I believe this is Angel in the other photograph, and she wrote this deep narrative about it. And I would say you could feel something different. And she had someone else respond. She had someone else read her narrative because it was so deep and emotional to her. But by the end, you'll see her recording there in this picture of episode 5. By the end, at first she was so shy and wasn't sure about recording. By the end, she was one of the guest co-hosts in it.
What's your message for teachers who are looking for these opportunities?
Contact me. You have an idea, just contact me because we can talk it through. You know, sometimes I have teachers that come to me with an idea and it may not be the right fit for Jocelyn, but I've been doing this long enough that I can hopefully direct them and say, that might be a better fit for this organization or that organization.
Yeah, be in touch with Jocelyn if you're around Omaha, and if you're somewhere else, find the right people to collaborate with. Service learning is happening around the country. You just got to find who's doing that close to you. And if they don't know about this, show them this episode and the episodes that the students have created and say, let's do something like this together. As somebody who loves making podcasts and loves consuming them, I love this idea, and I think that's one of the things that we can do together with students. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you next time on the Art Teams podcast.